everybody. I am Scotty J. Welcome back to Rock Titan Live. We got a very cool show for you today. For all of you prog rock, like psychedelic rock enthusiasts, and you've been following Rock Titan for quite some time, you'll know that we've had some real legends on our show. I mean, I'm thinking of guys like Jordan Rudess from Dream Theater. We've had on Steve Hackett, of course, well, one of the original guitarists from Genesis. And we've also had on Scott Page, who plays the sax for Pink Floyd. So these are just some incredible bands. And the reason I'm bringing these guys up is because the musician I'm speaking to right now, he has been with his band for over 50 years. These guys were at the forefront of prog rock. I mean, they influenced so many, maybe even some of the guys I just mentioned. But they had a brand new album come out not too long ago, just in 2020, and we all know what 2020 was all about, but they had an album come out called The Other Side. And these guys really thrive on the live music experience. I mean, these guys put on a show, and I just can't wait to talk to this gentleman more about it. We've got Derek Moore, and of course, he's from Nektar, original bassist from Nektar. Derek, how you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you doing?
I'm doing all right. Thank you. Thank you for joining me on the program. So, I talk about, bands like Genesis, bands like Pink Floyd. I haven't had the honor of speaking with anyone from Yes, but, I bring them up because they're like some UK-based bands in that prog psychedelic rock genre. Are those any bands that, you've had the opportunity to work with over the years?
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, when Peter Gabriel left Genesis, he used to hang out at our house.
Oh wow!
Because Larry Fast was one of the people that I lived with,
okay,
and he was doing the first Gabriel album.
Wow!
But Nectar Music's been involved with Iron Maiden, some of our tracks, Pink Floyd.
Right.
If you listen to some of their music, some of the guitar parts came from Nectar.
Okay.
When we played in New York City in 2003, I think it was, we played the town hall, and Nick Mason came to the show.
Wow.
I think we've been whiling away doing our own thing, and people have been listening to us, and we do have quite a large following. It's pretty good.
Well, you've got a large following, and you have a huge catalog. I mean, oh my God, the number of albums you've cranked out. And I mean, I think that to say how many albums Nektar's put out there, it doesn't even do you justice, but just because of the style of music that you guys play. So like, I look at it more of like from a time perspective, like the length of the songs, because a lot of them are rather long. They wouldn't necessarily be what you would call radio friendly,
Well, it depends. In the old days, they used to play the side when they needed to go to the bathroom.
Man, but 50 years. I mean, we're talking about 50 years. For you, does it feel like 50 years?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think I say absolutely. I left the end of the 70s, about 79.
Okay.
I went into business in plumbing and heating and construction, which I retired from in 2018.
Okay.
2018 is when I retired. And then I walked right back into Nectar. I mean, it was like, I felt like I never left,
Riding a bike. It's like riding a bike.
Like riding a bike. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. But yeah, it's wild. I mean, just because of the longevity of the band, which is a brand unto itself, I mean, and there's not very many bands, obviously, that can claim that they've been together that long. I mean, there just aren't. I mean, you got like the Rolling Stones, and a good friend of mine, Vinnie Moore, is lead guitarist for UFO.
Yeah.
So, and those guys been jamming forever. And I know Phil Mogg, said a while back that he was gonna hang them up. He was done with the touring life. And UFO is just gonna kind of ride off into the sunset. And of course, they're legends. I know you're familiar with them, but so I guess what is it that inspired you to come back to the band, and what kind of makes you want to keep on going with it? You know?
Well, um, I was just winding my business down, and I got a call from Ron Howden, the drummer, and he said he talked to me about all the commotion that was going off over there in Germany, and he said, "Will you help me put a band together?" And I said, "Sure, why not?" So I reached out to Rich Shalander, who Rich Shalander played for Renaissance, for Flying Dreams. He played for uh, a lot of the prog bands back in the day,
Okay.
and we he played with us. Fire Ballet. I don't know if you remember Fire Ballet, but he was the creative artist behind Fire Ballet.
Okay.
And we played some music together in '78 in my basement in Chatham, New Jersey.
Wow.
And we thought we got something going, and then Roy came back, and we put the original band back together because Roy had left in '76, I think it was. So no, '77 he left.
That's a good memory.
Yeah, well, certain long-term memory is still good. And so I said, let's try it. So me and Ron and Rich went down to the studio where we rehearse. We have a good friend, John Curlin, and he has a studio, and he lets us use it for free. He's been absolutely awesome.
Cool.
So we went down and we played a little bit, and everything came together. We knew it was going to work.
Nice.
And so I called up Mick, the light show guy, Mick Brockett, and I said, Mick, we're putting a band together. Do you want to be in? And he said, sure. I said, well, we want to go back to the original Sound and Light Theatre concept.
Nice.
And he said, yeah, I'm in. So then I called Randy, and Randy was the bass player that joined right after I left. He took my place.
Okay.
And the thought in the beginning was, I'm going to help write the album and put it together with everybody. And then I was going to step back and let Randy go and do the touring. That was my original thought. But it didn't turn out that way. We got Rich Shalander's bass keyboard player, Kendall Scott. He's absolutely awesome.
Yeah.
He's magic. And it just started feeling so good, and we were playing, and we were playing all the music, putting all the music from the '70s together again, and he sounded like the '70s.
Wow.
And that by then I was sucked in. We did music on the album with two bass players doing melodic intertwines, and Randy, of course, plays 12-string guitar and bass pedals as well. And the sound was huge. I mean, it sounded great. So we started putting the album together. Mick and I put the words together. Then we started collaborating with Rich, who's a great music. He's a great to collaborate with. He hears things like we do. You don't actually write words. You listen to the music and look at it, and it comes to you. The words just come to your head. Amazing. It's amazing how it works, but it's always been that way. And the concept of the other side, Mick came up with the other side, right. And it just opened a whole world of things to write about.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, every band has their own unique writing process. I mean, I know with a lot of lead singers, they kind of come up with all the lyrics, and then guys form the music kind of around the lyrics. But you guys, I guess, you're kind of, from that other vein, like you just said. You guys create all the music, and then you put the lyrics to it. But
we form our music in boxes.
Okay.
You have a box with this kind of music, and a box with that kind, and a box with this kind, and you see where they fit together. And then you increase the direction that way. I mean, really, if you listen to the new album, as all of the Nektar albums, they were all done live.
Right.
We play them live in the studio, and then if there's overdubs to be done, we do overdubs.
Okay.
Even Journey to the Center of the Eye, that was, I think, 45 5 minutes, and we did it live, one take. I mean, multiple takes, but one time.
Right.
They didn't have Dolby back then, so we couldn't stop. But if you look at Remember the Future, that was all that was two sides, and we did that live, and we did all these songs live. And if you listen to Drifting was the first take we did, and the only thing we added was the vocal and the piano under the vocal. Everything else was first take live.
Wow. That's
And
wild.
it just had a great feel. I knew that it was magic. I knew things started to happen. When we did Devil's Door, we'll listen to the original thing that we wrote with Roy in '74, and it sounded so crystal clear. And I said, why don't we use it? Why don't we use the beginning? So we had to change the pitch a little bit, because back in them days we used to tune our guitars to the organ, and the organ, the tuning depended on what kind of 110 we were getting. We were getting 110, 111, 112.
Right.
It would change the tuning fractionally. So we brought the track up to where we were, and he stripped some of the frequencies away, and we let it play, and we played to it. And it just felt great to have Roy playing with us. I have to say, we all felt that Roy was in the studio with us.
That's cool.
I mean, it was just really, really cool.
That's
And
cool.
then we did some rehearsing of the old music, and we played in a studio, Hellhound studio, next to Prog Rock in Rahway, and then we did a concert at Rahway. That was our first concert.
Wow.
Right now, we're in the process of bringing the album out again, because the Nektar band in Germany, who stole our name, they stopped our album coming out over there, and they just took it out.
Oh, wow.
I mean, we were number 3 on Amazon, number 1 on Amazon for 3 weeks, and then wham, it just went. So now we're doing a DVD of the making of the album, because cameras running all the time,
Okay.
and it shows some of these things in the studio. It shows the rehearsal. It shows the very first thing we did with me and Rich and Ron, and it finishes with Prog Rock, the first song of Prog Rock, which was recycled.
That's a great idea. I mean, the fact that you're filming yourselves like that, and,
Yeah.
and just going through the making of it, I think that's really, really cool. But I mean, on top of your music, Mel, one of the things I think that's really unique about you guys is just the effects show that you guys put on, where you really do cater that live experience. I mean, like you just said, so many of your albums were live. They were produced live, but it's not just about the live music. It's the live experience. And one of the reasons why I brought up a friend of mine, Scott Page, with Pink Floyd earlier, is because he has this thing going on called the Think Experience. And I guess most of it he does out in California. But it's like this total 360-degree panoramic, amphitheater type deal where it is just off the rails, visually speaking. And
That sounds great.
And it seems to me, but that's like the same type of thing that you guys really kind of hone in on, yeah?
Yeah, well, we pioneered a lot of that. Mick used to play with Pink Floyd in the old days
Man.
at the Roundhouse in London.
Wow.
I mean, a lot of the things you see, like Hawkwind, they took their light show from us. A lot of the first people who were doing it were looking at what we were doing back in the day, because ours was a music and light theater. The light show was in time with the music,
Right.
which was not really heard. I don't think it's heard of today.
No, you
But
guys are way ahead of your time.
Yeah, now we have Mick doing that with his laptops, and Jay Pesco is our tech coordinator, and he's helped Mick digitize everything.
Nice.
And he's helping Mick with the light show. I mean, he's great. It just works.
Yeah.
So we're planning on going out September 21.
Okay, yeah, I was just going to bring that up. Okay, so let's just segue right into that because I know you got to get going. But Vinyl Sides Live, the Vinyl Sides Live tour that you said, kicks off September 21st. I noticed that you were going to be out in my neck of the woods just outside Philadelphia at, Sellersville Theater. I saw that date was on there.
Yeah, I think there's a couple of dates out there. One is Sellersville.
Yeah.
That's the first date. And then I think there's another one out there somewhere.
Okay, yeah. Well, Sellersville is just the one that caught my attention because I have seen so many shows there. And it's a very cool, quaint little venue. I mean, there's maybe, 200-300 seats, full capacity. But it's like an old school, like, theater type of... where you would go to see like the opera or something like that. It's like an old opera house.
We played there last time on the last tour.
Okay.
And this is going to be the first date of our new tour. We're rehearsing. I go up to New Jersey once a month.
Okay.
For a long weekend to go through stuff that we're rehearsing individually.
Okay.
And then I go back to New Jersey on the, I think the 12th of September, and then we're going to rehearse right through to when the tour starts. We pick up the trucks on the 20th, load the gear, and we're off.
All right. So for all the Nektar fans out there, and fans that have been around forever, and then new fans, because your music really is that unique. I mean, there's not a lot of bands out there that play your style of music anymore. I mean, all the bands that you and I have been talking about came out not too far, late 60s, early 70s.
Yep.
With very few exceptions. That genre of music is just, I think it's a thing of the past that shouldn't be. I mean, it's some of my favorite music for sure. But so as far as the live music experience is concerned, people that have heard you, they know what to expect from that, from that perspective. Can everyone expect the same light show and the effects and everything? Is that something that you are integrating into every single one of your live performances?
Yeah, the light show is going to be even better this time.
Awesome.
Because we've been digitizing it and working with it. And the music we've rehearsed now about 4.5 hours of music.
Okay.
So that means we can go and play. For instance, we're playing 4 shows in St. Louis. Every show will be different.
I was just going to ask you about that because I know I read that you guys literally do a totally different set every single time. Wow, that's amazing.
Well, on the last tour, I think we were on day 28 on I think we're on the 28th gig before we repeated a set.
I've never even seen anything like that. It's so funny because like so many of the tours that I've covered and featured, every single leg of the tour they play the exact same set list. So there's actually websites dedicated to that, so you can go out and look and you can see the exact lineup of songs, so you know exactly what you're going to hear when. But if you're expecting that with Nektar, nope, forget about it. I mean, now, so. How long is your set? Because obviously your catalog is huge. I mean,
the last tour mostly between 2 and 2.5 hours. We had some shorter gigs, 90 minutes.
Okay, wow.
But more than often, it's going to be a couple of hours.
Okay, all right. Now, and do you play everything from the very beginning all the way up to the other side?
Pretty much. We play something from Journey, a section of Journey which goes into Drifting, one of the new songs I was talking about.
Right, yep.
We play all of Tab in the Ocean. We play all of Remember the Future. We play all of Recycled. We play all of The Other Side, and then we play about half of the other albums, so that you always get a good vinyl side. We had a lot of requests last time we were out, and we tried to listen to what people want to listen to.
Yeah, wow.
And then we rehearsed them. I mean, we brought on board some of the songs from Sounds Like This. we have at least half of sounds like this now.
Wow.
It got to the point where we figured 4.5 hours is enough. We can we'll be able to add stuff as we travel. So we're thinking about having people on the internet vote for what songs they want to listen to
That's a cool idea.
at different venues. And if somebody says to me, I'm going to be in Milwaukee, and I'd really like to hear Recycle, make sure that something's on the bill from Recycle.
Wow.
I think
Right on.
I think it's important to the fans. It's important to us.
I love it.
The fans, our nectarines, are a very important part of what we do.
Right on. Right on. Well, Mo, thank you so much for joining me on Rock Titan Live today, man. It has been awesome talking to you, and I really hope I get out to their Sellersville Theater. I'm going to have to speak to your people and then
Let me know if you need anything.
Yeah, yeah.
Do you have my information?
I did. Well, no, not your personal information, but
I'll send it to you.
All right, all right. Yeah, we could do that. We could do that off the record. But so everybody in the Philadelphia region, at least, Chester County, Montgomery County, Bucks County, anywhere you're in that area, if you have a chance to get out to Sellersville Theater when these guys really kick off their tour, man, be there. Definitely, definitely be there. I know I'm going to do my darndest to be there. But again, if everybody enjoyed this podcast with me and Mel every bit as much as I know you had to, show us a little bit of love, give us a little subscribe, and definitely go out and check out all Nektar stuff that they have out there, man. I mean, I went out there and listened to so much of their catalog just recently, just to kind of get the juices flowing, and man, the music is just absolutely incredible. Like I said, prog rock legends. That is what these guys are at its finest. It's absolutely awesome. And if you haven't checked out The Other Side, which just came out in 2020, make sure you go do that. But again, Vinyl Sides Live. The tour kicks off September 21st. And Derek Mo Moore, thank you so much again, sir.
Thank you.
All right, I'm Scotty J. You're watching Rock Titan Live. We're out.